The NFL admits they were wrong. I'm calling it the Ray Rice rule. On the heels of criticism for its 2-game ban of Ravens running back Ray Rice, the NFL announced stiff penalties for violations of its personal conduct policy, including domestic violence. The policy calls for a 6-game suspension for a first offense and a lifetime ban for a second offense. It applies to all NFL personnel, not just players. In the letter that Roger Goodell wrote, he said, clearly, we fell short in response to a recent incident of domestic violence. My disciplinary decision led to the public to question our sincerity, our commitment, and whether we understood the toll that domestic violence inflicts on so many families. I take responsibility both for the decision and for ensuring that our actions in the future properly reflect our values. I didn't get it right. So last night, dinner with friends, hanging out, and I thought to myself, thank you. Finally, you got it right. You admitted that you were wrong. For me, Shannon, for me, Skip, that means he's a true leader. I had no problem. Whether he was pressured to do it, I'm glad he did it. He's essentially saying, and this is the big part for me, a man telling another man, you hit a woman, you're wrong. There will be strong repercussions in our fraternity and a league that is extremely valued by so many people. And of course, you have 40% women who are your fan base. So you're saying man to man, you can't hit another woman. Otherwise, you're in trouble. We will not tolerate that. And for me, they didn't miss a step. It's far reaching. It's just obviously not the players. It's the people who want to be a part of the league in the future. And for me, I'm like applauding. Roger Goodell, you got it right. Thank God. Shannon, you heard this. Your reaction.
Measure 10 times, cut once. Instead of cutting 10 times because you measured once. I'm going to be as measured and as thoughtful as I possibly can be while being as open and as honest as I can be. Yesterday, I sat in this very chair and addressing the Mike Tomlin, Le'Veon Bell, LeGarrette Blount situation. Skip, and I said it's never too early to send the right message. Commissioner Goodell followed me up later in the day saying it's never too late to send the right message. He admitted that he was wrong because he said his decision came off as soft and sensitive to a large demographic, which are the women that watch the National Football League. See, in our society, crimes against animals, children, the elderly, and women are met with swift and harsh judgment because we look at these as being the least likely to defend themselves against a man. They're vulnerable. And we want the actions to be taken that represent that you were wrong in what you did. I commend the commissioner. Now, even though the first offense is 6 games, second offense is a lifetime ban, you can apply for reinstatement. There's no guarantee you'll get it. Some will say that's still not enough. For some, it's still not enough. But for the commissioner to come out and say, I was wrong, right, spoke volume to me. He admitted that I was wrong, Ray Rice, I was wrong in what you did. Because I think the thing, what really bothered a lot of people, you hear about domestic violence, but we got an opportunity to see on the videotape. Right. Now, we don't know what actually happened in the elevator. All we saw, the doors open, his fiancee, then now wife, laying on the floor. He's dragging her out. Commissioner Goodell, he swung a swift and hard hammer yesterday. Yeah. There is no gray area. Right. Where you stand on this. Right. If first offense is 6 games, right, second offense, lifetime ban. Skip, I commend him. I think he made the right decision.
I have several points I'd like to make on this issue.
Okay.
And I invite both of you to jump in at any time you feel. Point number 1, forgive me for this, but I hesitate to stand up right now and applaud our commissioner of the National Football League and say, wow, this man finally, for the first time in his commissionership, admitted he was wrong, especially about this all-important issue. I hesitate to do that because I'm hoping this isn't just a brilliant PR move designed to turn Commissioner Goodell back into something of a sympathetic figure here. He admitted he was wrong. And designed just to placate. I read that the female fans make up almost half the NFL audience.
Right.
I hope it's not just designed to placate them, to pat them on the head and say, I got you here, I've got your back. Because remember, Commissioner Goodell does still retain what I would call dictator-like power. He is judge, jury, and executioner. And in his letter to the owners yesterday, he wrote that punishment will be doled out with consideration given to mitigating factors. That means what? I don't know. That's a little vague. So here today, again, this is a great start, but I want to see our commissioner's feet held to the fire going forward. I don't want to see the next offender of domestic abuse given some pass because of mitigating factors here. I want to make sure this isn't just a lot of boilerplate PR that we just went through here. I'm hoping it's not. I'm leaning toward it's not, but I want to see actions speak louder than the words that we heard. And this is just me. And again, this is a great start.
Right.
But point number 2, this bar was set so low at 2 games for Ray Rice that I can't stand up and applaud 6 games because I said, what did I say from day one on Ray Rice?
Yeah.
8 games. I was hoping that the bar would be reset at half a football season because you know as an ex-player, the psychological deterrent, the impact of 8 games, even for a first-time offender, means I can't do that. If I strike a woman, I am gone for half of a football season. Again, I'm happy with 6, wanted 8. Because 8 sends a little stronger psychological message. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Half of a football season. Okay, go ahead. You want to jump in?
But here's the thing, Skip. I think the biggest thing, because we saw a lot of comparison between the Josh Gordon possibly being gone for a whole year for marijuana, Ray Rice striking his then fiance for 2 games.
Okay.
The drug suspension is collectively bargained. You know, a 3rd offense is 4 games, a 4th offense, you're gone for 16. Now we have something on the table that's concrete. We know exactly where we stand. It's hard to go from 0 to 60 because I think what you were asking the commissioner to do, we had nothing on the table. So basically, Commissioner, and you just said you don't like the fact that he's judge, jury, and executioner. So you're asking him to go from 0 to 95
I am.
without anything being on the table.
I agree with you, but 95 was necessary and correct. That's just me. But again, bar was set so low, shamefully low by this regime that I thought they could correct the error by going all the way to 8 games first offense. But that's just, again, maybe that's pie in the sky, and you make a very realistic, reality-based point.
Yeah, we start out.
Okay, all right, all right.
Your next point.
Ray Rice. I know this new punishment is not to be retroactive, but this is just me because I felt so strongly when Ray Rice got off with a veritable wrist slap. Is that fair to say?
It is
a wrist
fair
slap?
to say, yes.
That I now wish, in the best of all worlds, that Ray Rice could get 6 games of suspension. I know, you know, in this country we have what's called double jeopardy. You can't retry the same offense twice. But, okay, that's fine. I get all that. It's just kind of in my heart of hearts. I still wish that Ray Rice could be further punished because, as I told you the day after his press conference, I still didn't hear enough from him about what he's going to do. Yeah, the one he did with his teammates watching, you know, right. That I didn't hear enough from him about how he's going to help domestic abuse causes. Is he going to contribute financially? And how is he going to help by speaking out, educate other players as to what the pitfalls are here? What did I do wrong? What happened inside the elevator? I should have done this and I didn't do that, okay? But we didn't hear any of that from Ray Rice, so I felt like he was even given a pass off that press conference. But in the end, back to your original point, this will forever be known now as the Ray Rice rule.
That's it.
Okay, so he will forever be linked in shame to this new punishment. And maybe that's enough.
Yeah, I would say to me, that's better than 6 games.
All right.
You are, there's a new rule about domestic violence, and you're the face of it.
Okay, but in the end, Ray Rice may look back because of that ongoing shame that he will feel over this Ray Rice rule.
Yes.
And he may wish sooner than later that the commissioner had punished him more harshly the first time, right?
Skip, even in the actual criminal justice system, there are mitigating circumstances when you look at a first-time offender, you look at the guy standing or his or her standing in the community. They weigh all that in when doling out punishment. So I get what you're saying. Because we saw it on tape, it looks so heinous because it's a child or the elderly or a female.
It does.
And a man.
Yep.
You know, I don't care how tough a woman is. She doesn't stand a chance against a professional football player because he's built differently. He's built for combat because that's what you do. You try to move a man against his will. So with that being said, Skip, you have to take into account.
Yep.
And I think the commissioner said the mitigating circumstances. Ray Rice was such an upstanding guy in the community. His foundation had done so much for the city of Baltimore, a first-time offender. So he factored all that in, plus there was nothing ever on the books to begin with.
All right, so we like the idea. You and I are on the same page.
Yes.
You like the start. You
yes.
admit it's a good start. You want it more. However, we can see, because there's some cases coming up,
yes.
whether or not this will be put into place. We got Greg Hardy, so we can see moving forward. That's going to happen as well. So
yes.
we'll stay on that. We'll leave it here. Did you need to add anything else?